At 1:16 a.m., a single name was announced in federal court, and everything changed. Until that moment, the hearing had been routine. A judge moving down the witness list, defense attorneys nodding along, reporters half listening while drafting updates. Then the judge read the next name. Donald Trump didn't interrupt. He didn't object. He didn't even blink. But his body reacted before his mind could process it. His shoulders tensed, his head dipped, then shot back up. Hands that had been resting on the table slowly curled into fists, not out of anger but deliberate control, as if holding something fragile from falling apart. His face drained of color, and for a brief, unmistakable moment, the courtroom fell completely silent. This wasn't the usual quiet. It was the kind of silence that hits when everyone realizes they just saw a turning point. Trump's lawyers noticed immediately. One leaned in, whispering urgently. Another requested a sidebar citing national security. The judge didn't look up. The request was denied with a single sentence, leaving no room for argument. Seasoned observers exchanged glances. This wasn't a reaction to a critic or political opponent. This was someone from inside Trump's own circle, someone who knew things most in Washington never hear aloud. For years, Trump's legal strategy relied on the idea that sensitive knowledge was locked within a small, loyal group, but the name read at 1:16 shattered that assumption. Trump didn't argue or smirk. He stared straight ahead, jaw set, eyes fixed, as if confronting consequences he thought would never come. This wasn't just another witness. This was someone who had been in rooms where decisions were made under the belief they'd never be exposed. Someone who had access to not just information, but intent. From that moment, Trump understood something instantly. Before any lawyer could explain, before any analysis could be written, this case had crossed a line it could never uncross. The witness wasn't an outsider or a disgruntled former employee. He was someone Trump had elevated himself, someone trusted at the center of power during the most volatile stretch of the presidency. The danger wasn't just what this witness knew, it was what he represented. Trump's defense assumed loyalty or irrelevance from those around him. This witness destroyed that narrative in a single moment. Months of quiet preparation, sealed filings, and careful review had set the stage. By the time the name was read, the damage was done. Timing made it worse. This cooperation came from the final intense weeks of the administration, when decisions were rushed, rules blurred, and loyalty was tested against legality. The witness had been there for it all. Trump's reaction was visible. Bravado vanished, the performance stopped, and his team scrambled, not to argue substance, but to delay the moment. Because once an insider steps forward, claims that relied on ambiguity collide with first-hand testimony. Defenses built on belief and intent suddenly face someone who can describe what was said, by whom, and why it mattered. Unlike previous hostile witnesses, this one couldn't be dismissed as part of an external conspiracy. He was Trump's own choice. The implications are clear. This witness can testify about classified documents, obstruction, and the transition of power in ways that go beyond documents or memos. He was there when rules were explained and ignored, when legal boundaries were discussed, and when decisions carried permanent consequences. His testimony doesn't create new theories. It removes the fog on which Trump's defenses depended. For Trump, the problem became psychological as well as legal. When a loyal insider steps forward, jurors instinctively ask, what did he see that made silence impossible? The contrast speaks for itself. A man who once defended every decision now explains under oath how those decisions were made and why they crossed lines. Defense strategies crumble under this pressure. Every attack rebounds. Claims of bias, coercion, or conspiracy collapse under scrutiny. This witness didn't act impulsively. He acted because the legal reality made silence impossible. And his decision sends a message. Others in Trump's inner circle are watching. Loyalty no longer guarantees safety. Cooperation now looks like survival. That's why the moment at 1:16 a.m. mattered. It wasn't just a name. It was a signal that the protective walls around Trump's final weeks had cracked. Conversations once untouchable are now examinable. Decisions once framed as exceptional can now be scrutinized. Trump understood immediately, which is why the courtroom went still. His fists clenched, and his attorneys appeared lost. This witness doesn't just know what happened. He knows what Trump said when he believed no one could prove it. And once that testimony enters the record, the rest of the case doesn't ask if things will change. It assumes they already have.